Stoneberg out here. Today we're installing a steel security door. With steel security doors, you're going to have some pretty unique parts. First one, this is a one-way irreversible screw. It's about 4 inches long. It's irreversible because the screw head here is rounded on opposing sides. So you can use a flat-headed screwdriver to install it, but you can't uninstall it because the screw head just pushes the screwdriver back out. To install these screws, you're going to use this. It is a one-way installation tool. One-way screw installation tool. Stormdoor out here. Today we are going to be installing a steel security door. This door is an exterior surface mount door, and it's going to have one-way irreversible screws. Let's get into it. First step, we're going to put some strategically placed screws to set the door on. I'm going to take a flat edge, in this case just a file. You can use a level, whatever you want, but you're going to put a screw right there in the middle of the brick molding, in the middle of the flat part of the brick molding. This is where the latch frame is going to rest. Same thing on the other side. This is the hinge side. You're going to set this flat edge on the sill plate, and that'll show you where to put this screw. This is where the hinge frame is going to set. So there's no need to use any shims or wood or blocks or anything to try to get the door up to the height of the sill plate, because these screws are perfectly aligned. That is the first step. Put the screws on the left and right side. For a steel security door install, you're going to use a standard size entry door knob and deadbolt. This is the quick set smart key. I really like this set because you can rekey this to your entry door on site. So we're installing the standard entry door handle on the steel security door. Before you do that, you can see 2 little spikes right here on the edges of this door handle. Right there. You want to file those guys off. This is the exterior handle. These spikes are meant for wood core doors because they're designed to puncture the door so that they stay in place. But these little spikes here will not puncture a steel door. So file those down before you install them on a steel security door. Getting ready to install the deadbolt in the steel security door. Please note right here the word up. That means this side goes up in the door. So when you go to put it in, make sure up is up. We're getting ready to install the door latch now in the steel security door. Please note there is a rounded side of the latch right there. That rounded side faces the interior of your house so that it'll close and latch. So we set it in here. You want this to face the inside. You do not want to flip this around and go that way. The door won't close. Always put the rounded side facing the inside of the house. Just mounted these 4 screws to secure the deadbolt and the door latch into place. Before putting on the handle, double check to make sure that the word up is facing up on the deadbolt, and that on the door latch, the beveled side here is facing towards the inside of the house. Getting ready to mount the exterior door handle to the steel security door, you're going to notice this little tab right here. What is that for? Well, you're going to take this little Allen wrench here that comes with the kit, and you're going to stick it in that little hole right there. When you undo that screw, that allows you to pull off the door handle. Then you take this tab, pull it back like so, and that pops off this outer cover plate, revealing the 2 holes that you need to put the screws in that mount the door latch to the door. All right, just installed the deadbolt and the door handle, installed those 2 screws and the holes that were revealed in the last video. Now we take the outer escutcheon, put it on, it snaps into place, and then take the door handle, set it on, and then you're going to take this Allen wrench and shove it right in the little set screw hole there and turn this down to tighten it. If you don't like the way this curve goes, you can reverse these handles. Just loosen that little set screw, pull the handle off, swap it with the front one on the outside, and put them back on. So the steel security door handle and deadbolt have been installed. We're actually going to assemble the frame on the steel security door before we set it in the opening. Now we're getting ready to assemble this frame for the steel security door. Pro tip, we're going to be using 3 to 4 inch clamps. You'll want 4 of them. Also a spacer that is a 1/4 inch thick and 2 spacers that are an 1/8 inch thick. Length kind of doesn't matter. You can use whatever your preference is. In the next video, I'll show you how to do this to make this job so much easier. Okay, so we just installed the rails on the door using these 4-inch clamps. We've connected them in strategic places on this door. Now remember those spacers I told you about in the last video? The 1/4 inch spacer is right here, giving a perfect reveal. And the 1/8 inch spacers are right in here, behind the clamp there, giving a perfect space between the hinge frame or the latch frame and the door. And then we come over here, and here's the bottom. That spacer is right there. Now we can just take this entire door and stand it in the opening. No having to worry about where everything is lining up. All right, so we just set the security door in the opening with the clamps attached and the spacers. This means you don't fight trying to line up the header rail and the latch rail. Everything is just lined up beautifully. And remember those screws in the previous video that I installed? This door is sitting right on top of it. So I don't have to worry about proper spacing here because it's already perfectly spaced. And make sure you check for level. So pro tip, when installing a steel security door, you're going to take a 1/4 inch drill bit and you're going to pre-drill these holes. You're pre-drilling the holes for these one-way irreversible screws to go in. But before you put those in, take some WD-40 and just spray the screw there, because it will make it inserting and tightening down the screw so much easier. To install one-way irreversible screws when you're installing a steel security door, you're going to put in the one-way screw installation tool into your drill. Looks like that. Put your one-way screw in the hole and then just tighten it down until it's flush. That's how you install one-way security screws on a security door. And now for the grand unveiling of the steel security door installation. Notice we've got all the one-way screws installed. Everything is tightened down, so now we just remove these clamps. And unlock the door, open it, take off the spacers, and we have a steel security door successfully and perfectly installed. Great job. Storm Door Guy here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you found it both helpful and informative. If you're looking for more information on the topic or the next one in the series, check out this video here. And I also recommend this one right here.